Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
A Tale of Two Cities is one of the oldest, the most Gesapita cliche that we know. Sorry, Charles Dickens. But I am using it today because I am telling you the tale of two cities. And these are the two cities that matter to India so much. I dare not say the most because my friends in Kolkata will get furious. But one city is India's financial capital and industrial engine, that is Mumbai, and the second is Delhi, which is the heart of India, which is where India is governed from. Now, these two cities were always expected to suffer greatly from the COVID pandemic for the simple reasons, as we keep on saying all the time, like a mantra, like a Gayatri mantra or like anything equivalent in any other faith, coronavirus loves density. And these two are among the densest cities in India. But you find that over the past month or so, the two cities have changed their trajectories. Because Mumbai, which had taken the lead or the dubious lead earlier, was doing quite badly to begin with and looked like that was India's big epicenter. Mumbai seems to be getting its act together slowly. It is not victory yet, nothing is done yet, but figures in Mumbai are looking less worse than Delhi. Delhi, on the other hand, is beginning to look quite bad. And that shows in the way now the central government has acted. Union Home Minister Amit Shah held a meeting today with Delhi Chief Minister, basically with the COVID crisis group, with doctors from All India Institute of Medical Sciences, with other doctors, MCD, there are 3 municipal corporations of Delhi, and they've set up a new crisis plan. Now, what is happening in Delhi and what has happened in Mumbai? So, there are some good news stories, there are some not very good news stories. So, if you look at Mumbai, a lot of Mumbai's improvement has come from the area which was always expected to be or always feared to be not just Mumbai's crisis spot or Maharashtra's crisis spot, not just India's crisis spot, but actually a global crisis spot. That is the huge slum of Dharavi, where nearly 1 million people live in a 2.5 square kilometers area. It can't get tighter than that. And also these are very poor people, very little sanitation. A lot of them use common toilets, public toilets, quite filthy. 10 or 12 people might live in a 100 square foot room. So this was tailor-made for a big pandemic to take a big toll. And as the first case came up in Dharavi, there were immediate concerns and the cases went up. We were looking at a disaster. Now, if you see Dharavi, touch wood, fingers crossed, this is turning out to be a real success story. And it's a success story that has lessons not just for Mumbai, rest of Mumbai or Delhi or other major cities, but also for other countries, particularly poorer countries with crowded areas. Brazil, for example, which is now suffering so badly with the pandemic. Brazil now has the second largest number of deaths in the world after America, and Brazil's population is much smaller than America. Brazil's population is about as much as Uttar Pradesh or Pakistan, just for comparison. Now, what exactly has happened in Dharavi? First of all, before we go to all of Mumbai, Dharavi, there are 2 stories today. One is in the print.in. In fact, you can read both stories in the print.in, but I'm giving you the links. One is from Swagata Yadavar, who's our correspondent, who spent several weeks in Mumbai. And the other is from Dhvani Pandya of Bloomberg. So both stories make the point quite convincingly. One, that Dharavi has turned the corner, and second, how it has turned the corner. So I rely on both those stories to give you these details plus other inputs that I have got speaking with high officials in Bombay and people who know what's going on with this. So first of all, what is it that they did in Dharavi? Before that, I will tell you what is it that has happened in Dharavi. What has happened in Dharavi is that half of the people who have fallen sick so far have recovered. Active cases are now coming down. Fresh infections per day are a third of what they were in early May. Early May they were 60 a day. now they are 20 a day. This when all of India totally, if you take all of the country, has quadrupled since early May. Now India is recording 11,000, 12,000 cases a day, but Dharavi itself has gone down to 1/3. You want to see this in comparison, the rise of positive cases in Dharavi now is 1.57% a day. Now you might say, what does it mean? So I will tell you. The rise of cases in all of Mumbai is 3% a day. So Dharavi now is about a half in percentage terms in rise than all of Mumbai. It was seen to be the engine that will drive all of Mumbai, the COVID engine that will drive all of Mumbai in the wrong direction. In fact, it is now bringing down Mumbai's average, improving Mumbai's average. So Dharavi 1.57, all of Mumbai is 3, and the districts or the wards as they call them in Mumbai around Dharavi, in the northwestern region, they are next door to just right around Dharavi, they have 5% a day, 5% rise a day, which is about the same as the little less than the national average, but still quite high. Mumbai 3% and Dharavi itself 1.5%. So these are the big changes that have happened in Dharavi. Doubling time in Dharavi, doubling time of all cases, not just active cases. Doubling time in Dharavi now is 44 days. Doubling time in Mumbai is 22 days. Doubling time of active cases in India, if you look at the figures on India COVID-19.org, it tells you that doubling time in India for active cases is about 26-27 days. So Dharavi is better, much better than that also. Now we look at how has this come about, because Dharavi is not a place where social distancing is possible. We explained to you how tight it is. Number two, it's also not a place where you can impose a lockdown, because people will come out of their homes. 10 or 12 people can't remain locked up inside a 10 by 10 hut or a room forever. They have to come out. So lockdown not possible, social distancing not possible. How do you then keep this down? And that's a very good case study which both these reports tell you. And essentially what BMC, Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation, which handled this, what they did was they set up a group for Dharavi of a lot of good people, and they went door to door because it was impossible to have so many people come to you. They went door to door, so they went to 47,000 homes. 47,000 is a lot of homes. If you take, say, 10 to a family, because these are crowded families and crowded homes, then they reached out to a lot of the homes. Then they ran fever clinics, which means you could just come, line up there, get your fever checked, and they used pulse oximetry. So they went to the population, looked at their, tested them with pulse oximetry to see what their oxygen saturation was. Then if it was below 95%, they were separated out and taken to quarantine centers where they were looked after. So that applied even more to older people because it was not possible to test everybody. So this was much faster than testing. It just takes a couple of minutes per person. You can just figure it out. In the process, these teams reached out to almost 7 lakh people in Dharavi. That's almost everybody. Why? Because at least 1.5 million or 2.5 million between that were migrant laborers who had already left from Dharavi. So this was almost reaching everywhere. And how was this also, what were the force multipliers? The BMC used local private practitioners in this. So 350 local practitioners who also know people with whom people also have a comfort level. They became a part of it. And as somebody was found to be positive, that person was then taken to a quarantine center or a hospital, etc., for a quick care. So you can also see that the case fatality rate between the first couple of weeks and now has improved greatly. Improved means it has come down. So these were the methods used. In fact, it's worked so well that for about a week, as June began, there was no death out of Dharavi. That's when people thought there will be drains full of bodies there. It's only now that about 5-6 people have died in the last 3-4 days. So it's not as if the story is over, but there is a big change. And I see Kiran Dighavkar, Assistant Commissioner of Mumbai Municipal Corporation, who says that we decided to chase the virus rather than letting it come to us. Remember, very early on when we were talking about what was happening in Italy, we had quoted an Italian health official, in fact I think the head of the Italian Center for Disease Control, saying that this virus runs much faster than bureaucracies. So you cannot follow it. So they decided to chase the virus. He said that is reaching out to everybody, picking out people with fever, picking out people with any symptoms and checking everybody's oxygen, especially that of the older people. And that is what tells you in other indicators also. Dharavi's recovery rate now is 51%. All of Mumbai's recovery rate now is 41%. So the district which was supposed to perform the worst of all has done better. And the other method also that was used was that if they found somebody symptomatic, they said even if you are not tested, if you are symptomatic, you can volunteer for a quarantine. So they took them for voluntary quarantine. They took up some local clubs and schools, etc., set up quarantine facilities where free food was provided, free fever checks, health checks were provided through the day. So many of those schools have now become empty because that crisis, at least for the moment, has calmed down, and BMC is offering those schools back to school management, so a sense of normalcy can come in. Plus it's an incentive also for people to think that things are getting better now. So that is one good news story. The trouble you see on the other hand is in Delhi. Now Delhi, we've been complaining for some time that Delhi is testing too little. It's not as if Bombay is testing a lot more. Bombay is testing about as much, maybe just marginally more than Delhi until yesterday. Yesterday Delhi upped a little bit, but Mumbai is lesser population than Delhi. Delhi is much more sprawled and spread out. Now, one indication of how your testing is working, are you testing enough or not, is also based on your test positivity rate. That means if you test 100 people, how many of them are positive? Generally, the belief is if your test positivity rate goes above 10%, you should start testing. You should start testing more. You should increase testing. Now, if you look at all of India in the last week, that is June 6 to June 13, all of India has conducted about 1 million tests. I think 9,90,000 or so tests. All of India's positive cases are about 76,000, which means India's test positivity rate is about 7.7%. But in that, if you see a list of the 15 most affected districts in India, and these 15 most affected districts in India have almost 63% of all of India's cases. In fact, 5 top cities in India have more than 50% of all of India's cases. These obviously are topped by Mumbai and Delhi. If you look at these, then look at the percentages, and we'll show you the chart. In Mumbai, the rate is around 29%, 28%, and sort of coming to the lower side, trending towards lower 20s now. That means not that many cases are perhaps being missed. Bombay also needs to test more, maybe twice as much. I believe that today Mumbai has also relaxed this. They have now allowed the private labs to test direct contacts of those who've been proven positive. So far, nobody was tested unless they were not symptomatic and prescribed a test by the doctor. Today, Mumbai has made a change. They've said direct contacts of positive cases can get tested, and they have to self-certify that I am a direct contact of so-and-so who's turned positive. So that shows that testing will go up. Now, look at Delhi. All of India's positivity rate, TPR, is 7.7%. But I'll give you some figures on Delhi. And you see this chart of the 15 most troubled districts in India. I mean, it's quite shocking that Delhi has the number 1 position from the bottom, number 2 position, number 3 position, number 4 position, number 5 position, number 6 position, number 7 position for its districts. And I will read this out to you. So Delhi Shahadra district 75.4% TPR, Southeast Delhi 63.4% TPR, Northeast 57.1, East 45.1, North 44.1, Northwest 44.2, North 39.2, Southwest 34.9, Central 34.2. Then you come to the zones, the districts which are little bit less worse. Once again I use that expression. South, where I live, for example, 27.6, and New Delhi, where Bharat Sarkar lives and where the much maligned Lutyens Delhi is located, 22.3%. Now you might say, oh, this just tells you that some areas are more crowded, some are less crowded. They do, which means areas which are more crowded should be getting more tests, but that's not happening. I'll show you another figure which is quite telltale about how Delhi is working and how, once again I used that expression earlier about Telangana, but I'll use it now about Delhi, that this is shambolic. That if you look at the 3 districts of Delhi which have at least not in the top 7 in the country, that is Central, South, New Delhi. More tests are being done there, many more tests are being done there than in the other districts which are doing much worse. In fact, if you just look at South Delhi, so 5,184 tests in the week, that is just a little less than all the tests done in Shahadra, Southeast, Northeast and East. 4 districts of Delhi. Now, why is that being done? Search me. It could be that maybe South Delhi is more prosperous, it's better connected, it can go to private labs. Also, everybody has an uncle somewhere to call and get it done. So what is happening is that a district like Shahadra, for example, which is 75.4% positivity, has less than 1,000 tests in a week. That's a disaster. And that's why it's a good thing today that central government has moved in. They have also moved in some good officers from all over the country, from UT cadre, to come and help with this. They have also drafted doctors from AIIMS, MCD hospitals in Delhi and from Delhi government to get them to knock their heads together and come to grips with the situation. The Home Minister announced today that over the next 2 days, testing in Delhi will be doubled and maybe in a week it will be tripled, because this is not just a question of test. If you are getting 75%, 64%, 57%, 45%, 44%, 44%, 39, 34, 27 and 22. If these are your test positivity rates in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 districts of Delhi, then you should be testing a lot more in all these districts. There is no point. One thing we keep saying, the virus loves density. At the same time, the virus enjoys you being in denial, because that's when the virus is free to do what it wants. So once again, Delhi has to learn from what Mumbai has done in Dharavi, and Delhi has to start chasing the virus. I'll tell you something else that Mumbai has done. Very interesting. Obviously, they figured that they can't test everybody, or they should have tested more, but they didn't. But what they did was, all their slum dwellers, Bombay's slum problem is much bigger than Delhi's slum problem, because Mumbai slums are slums. They are not, in Delhi there are some partly gentrified, some are unauthorized. Delhi slums are less worse off than Mumbai slums. Nearly 6 million people, 60 lakh people live in slums in Mumbai. That is where this pandemic could have caused a massacre. But what they did was, they've gone out and tested 50 lakh people, that is 5 million people, for pulse oximetry to see who is low on oxygen. In that process, they identified about 2,000 people, mostly older people, who were below. They were taken to protective quarantine. So these are things that Delhi should be doing. We haven't seen any of that happening. So there's no time to lose now. Mumbai, of course, has to double up on whatever they are doing. Whatever they did in Dharavi, they have to do in other areas, particularly northwestern Mumbai districts around or wards around Dharavi. But Delhi has to learn its lessons, and Delhi has peculiar problems because Delhi has several levels of governance. There is a Delhi state government, then municipal corporation of Delhi is different. There are 3 municipal corporations. State government is with Aam Aadmi Party, municipal corporations are with BJP, and central government has special powers in Delhi. Lieutenant Governor of Delhi has executive powers. He is the chief executive of Delhi, unlike say Maharashtra, where the governor is titular. So within all those limitations and complications, it's important that Delhi gets its act together. And what has been done today in Delhi, these steps look good, but these have to be implemented very soon.